The following is a commercial program paid for by Heritage Agriculture. The opinions and views expressed belong to its sponsors and are not those of Nexstar Broadcasting, Inc., this station, or their affiliates or employees.
Welcome to Farm Talk, where we look at issues that affect agriculture and ranching here in the natural state. Brought to you by Heritage Agriculture. Here is your host, Mike Linton.
Welcome to Arkansas Farm Talk. I'm your host, Mike Linton. My guest today is Mr. Lee DeBerry. He's a poultry farmer from Batesville, Arkansas. Lee, welcome to Arkansas Farm Talk.
Thank you, Mike. Really glad to be here. Appreciate the invite and look forward to sharing some information about the poultry industry.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some chickens, but a little bit, tell me about yourself first, and then we'll get into it.
Of course, my name is Lee. I am a fourth generation farmer. My family has owned a row crop farm. Great-grandpa bought it back in the 40s down in Arkansas County in the Crockett's Bluff area, so I was raised on a farm. Graduate of DeWitt High School, home of the Dragons.
Yeah, the Dragons.
Yeah, absolutely. And then off to the University of Arkansas, where I met my lovely wife, Gina. We've been married for 26 years, love her to death. We've got two children, Jonathan and Katie. And of course, coming out of college, I went to work as an ag banker. And so that's kind of how I got my start. That's kind of who I am. Born and raised on a farm, and then spent the last 25, 26 years in ag finance.
Yeah. Well, I know you lived in Lone Oak for a while.
I did.
And because we were neighbors.
We were next door neighbors. So yeah, when we come out of the University of Arkansas, went to work for the Farm Credit System. That's where I went to work. Worked for them in Lone Oak. You didn't know me at that time. Mm-hmm. I actually did 2 stints in Lone Oak.
Okay.
But worked in Lone Oak, a little bit in Brinkley and Stuttgart. Then got the opportunity to go as the branch manager to Star City. And Tyson Foods has a complex down in Pine Bluff, Rising area, Star City, hatcheries in Star City. And that's where I first got my first introduction into poultry. They were expanding at the time. Mm-hmm. They were adding to their complex, and I made my very first poultry loan in 1995 in Star City, Arkansas. So from there, I was there a couple of years, and then went to work for a bank out of El Dorado that did nothing. The bank did other things, but they had an ag division that did nothing but chicken houses. That's all we did was finance chicken houses. So for about 6 years of my career, I spent time doing nothing but financing chicken houses. Then in 2002, got the opportunity. Even though the bank was in El Dorado, I was over in Mena, far western Arkansas, and got the opportunity to move back a little closer to home, which made mom and dad happy with grandkids, as you know. So got an opportunity to come to the bank in Lone Oak, moved there, and still did a lot of poultry. It wasn't the only thing I did anymore. I did row crop ag financing and some other types of financing, but brought poultry to that bank and spent a lot of time, spent 9 years there in Lone Oak that we were neighbors, and really enjoyed my time there. Still got a lot of good friends in the Lone Oak area, so really enjoyed it there. But I was financing through the bank at Lone Oak. I was financing farms, poultry farms up in the Batesville area. And I got an opportunity to go up there and be a community bank president up in the Batesville area and be a market president and work there a little more closely in the poultry industry. And it was an opportunity I felt like I couldn't pass up. So that's when we left Lone Oak and moved to the Batesville area. So that's kind of how I got into Batesville. While there's 2 companies, George's OMP and Pico, that operate out of Batesville, and both were doing some expanding. So in 2013, I got the opportunity to build my first farm, and I built four broiler houses, brand new. These were an investment. I was still working at the bank at the time, but built them as an investment. Really enjoyed it, liked the industry even more. I'd been involved with it, my entire career from the finance perspective, so I was very familiar with it, familiar with the people, but got the opportunity to do it for myself, really liked that. So from there, the 2 companies just kept expanding. So I got the opportunity to build an even bigger farm, and when I did that, I sold my 4-house farm. Took the money, invested it into a new 10-house farm, and at that point in September of 17, I decided I felt like a career change was in order, and I went into poultry farming full time. I retired from the bank. Still got a lot of good friends, a lot of good relationships I built over the years through my career in banking. The ag finance was what I always enjoyed the most. I always enjoyed dealing with the farmers, both poultry and row crop. So, that was an opportunity, something I missed the ag part of it, but I really enjoy this new chapter in life too, being self-employed.
Yeah.
Self-employment's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. So now I retired from the bank in 2017 just to focus on my poultry farm. In 2018, I got an opportunity to buy another farm, so I expanded my operation into a second farm. So now we have 2 farms, 16 total houses.
16.
16. Wow. And
okay.
We've got 3 full-time employees and just really enjoy what we do. The poultry industry has been really good to me throughout my entire career, both on the finance side and now being on the owner-operator side, and even still do a little financial consulting. I've got a little small consulting business too, but primarily I'm a poultry farmer now.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Explain the poultry business, the industry, how it works a little bit.
Sure. So the poultry industry is a model of what we call vertical integration. And what that means is the company owns pretty much everything from the start to the finish. They're going full scale.
But it's your property, your houses,
My
right?
property,
okay.
My houses. They own the hatchery, they own the feed mill, the trucks, they own the processing plant, and that's the 3 big things. You're going to have a hatchery, you're going to have a processing plant, and you're going to have a feed mill in any poultry operation. That's the big 3, and the company owns those. Mm-hmm. The one thing they have realized over the years, there have been some company farms at times, and one thing they've realized is logistically, for one reason, owning enough land to own all the poultry houses they need is not really something logistically they can do. The other thing they've realized is that, when they deal with an individual farmer, they tend to get a better product, they tend to get a better job.
Sure.
So we work, as a poultry farmer, we work on a contract basis. My contract is with Pico, and I have a contract with them. They provide me the chicks, they provide me the feed, and they provide me the technical advice. I provide the facilities, and I provide the utilities, so I'm providing the environment. That's my job, is to give them a good, safe, stable environment to grow those chicks, and then, at market, they come and get them. They take them from my house, and they take them to the processing plant and go from there. So that's kind of how everything is company owned except the farm, because they've realized they can get a better job, and logistically it's much easier to do that with an individual farmer.
Sure. Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mr. Lee DeBerry.
Since 1921, we've been supporting rice farmers across America. These are the farmers who own our co-op, who prosper together, striving to do more for their communities, going deeper, working smarter, growing stronger. That's how we make good even better. That good comes from the time and toil they're passing down of a way of life that supports not only their families, but families all over the world. So the world can be served with great food. Riceland. United, we grow.
In good times and hard times, Arkansas Farm Bureau is there. We're always working, so our state's farmers and ranchers can continue to put food on store shelves and on your family's dinner table. We support training for medical care in rural communities and the industries that provide materials needed for critical supplies. Arkansas Farm Bureau, working every day to keep Arkansas strong.
At Harvest, you have one goal: finding the perfect flow of grain from the field to the bin. Case IH axial flow combines are engineered for matched capacity to deliver proven grain savings, so you can keep efficiency flowing smoothly. Find yours with the Case IH axial flow.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. Powerful Kubota diesel engine, ease of operation, and your choice of a Kubota gear or HST transmission. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
No matter how you buy ag equipment, AgDirect can finance it. We're powered by Farm Credit, people who know agriculture. So along with options to purchase, lease, or refinance, AgDirect offers attractive rates, helpful service, and ag-friendly terms. When you compare the price of iron, be sure to compare your cost of money. Ask for AgDirect, built for agriculture, powered by Farm Credit.
Make sure you're prepared for the busy planting season ahead with Great Plains planters and drills available at Heritage Agriculture. The Great Plains lineup of planters and drills, including the 3P4025AH twin row and YP825 planters, are accurate, dependable planting solutions, ready to help you kick off your planting season. Heritage Agriculture, the 7 locations to serve you. We're customer focused, customer driven, and we want your business.
Welcome back to Arkansas Farm Talk. I'm with Mr. Lee DeBerry, poultry farmer from Batesville. Lee, we're talking about the poultry industry. You got 16 houses in Batesville.
I do.
You raise growers.
Yeah, I raise broilers.
Broilers. Broilers. Okay.
Yep.
Tell me about the different houses. I didn't know that there's different houses.
Yep. So there are several different types of poultry housing, and I'm going to talk about basically the 3 main types, what the average Arkansan is going to see. Now, there are commercial egg houses. You know, there's some things called primary breeder houses, and we're not going to cover them much because basically the industry in Arkansas is 3 different types of houses, and that is what's called a pullet house. That's number 1. Then you have a breeder hen house. Then you have a broiler house, which that's what I do. Now, pullet farm is where it all starts. Pullet farms, the company, whether it be a Tyson, a Simmons, a Pico, whomever it may be, they are buying chicks. So they're buying small chicks from a primary breeder, and they're bringing them to that pullet farm. That pullet grower is responsible for raising that bird for roughly 21, 22 weeks. So he's keeping that bird that whole time, and he's getting it ready to go into a breeder hen house, which we'll talk about next. The pullet house it's very stable. There's not very many of them. You're going to have the fewest pullet houses of any kind of house. When you have a typical complex, probably 3 to 4% of the housing in the entire complex is pullet houses. You just don't need very many of them. They're not as labor intensive, and they're typically paid by the square foot. So they just, however much square footage they have, they're paid a flat rate by the square foot, and then they get a livability bonus for however many good chicks they moved to the breeder hen house. Okay. So that's kind of where it all starts. All starts with the pullet houses, and you don't see many of those sell. Most of those people are really happy. Rarely do you see a pullet house or a pullet farm come on the market.
Sure.
You go there into what's called a breeder hen house. So that's where the pullets, which are the females, and the roosters, the males, that's where they come together. And of course, they do what males and females do, and that's where we get eggs. But this is not like the dozen eggs you buy on the store on the shelf at the grocery store. These are hatching eggs. So those chicks are going to go, or they're mature birds now. They're going to go 21 weeks into that breeder hen house. They're going to stay there 43 to 44 weeks till they're about 65 weeks old. That entire time, they're producing hatching eggs. So a breeder hen grower is opposite of a pullet deal, and it's very labor intensive. You're gathering eggs 3 times a day, and it's very automated now. So there's a lot more automation that's made it a little bit less labor intensive, but a breeder hen farm is very labor intensive. Now the company has come around. You have a climate controlled egg room if you have a breeder hen farm, and so you're gathering your eggs, you're cleaning them, and you're putting them in that climate controlled egg room. Then the company, whether it be a Tyson or whomever it is, they're coming around every so often, weekly, maybe more, depending on how many houses you have and eggs you produce. They're coming around and picking up those eggs, and they're taking them to the company hatchery. So then they go to that company hatchery, and they're there 3 to 4 weeks where they hatch into a baby chick. And that's what I get. So now the company is bringing those in a climate-controlled trailer truck. They're coming to farms like mine with thousands of little baby chicks. You can hold them in your hand, you know, right here. And we're going to take those chicks and grow them, you know, out for, depending on who the complex and the integrator, you know, anywhere from 6 weeks to 9 weeks, depending on the size bird they want. So that breeder hen grower, he's getting paid by the dozen eggs. He can make a bonus for how well he utilizes his feed and his hatchability. How many of the eggs he sent to town, how many of them hatched and became good chicks. So that's how he's getting paid. Then they get to me, you know, I get paid for pounds.
Yeah. You just like a rancher.
That's it. I get paid for pounds, brother. That's it.
Right.
We sell pounds.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so I'm taking that chick from a baby that will literally fit in your hand, and that's when my wife loves them. She loves them, the baby. When they're big and ugly, ready to go, she don't like them. But she loves them, you know, when they're little. And so we're taking that chick from, you know, a day old. It just hatched that morning. When it comes to our farm, we're taking that chick from 1 day old and taking it out. For us, it's 60 to 63 days. Now, you know, again, depending on what size bird each company wants and each complex within an entire company, like Tyson down in Nashville is probably raising a different size bird than Tyson in Springdale, but it's all depending on who their market is with.
Yeah.
So as a broiler grower, you know, now it's also somewhat of a competitive system. So I'm competing. If you and I both have broiler houses and we sell in the same week, we're competing against one another. So that's how I can improve how I do. I'm trying to provide them the most pounds of meat I can at the least cost to the company.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm trying to give them the most pounds with the least feed. So the way we do that is control our environment. You try to set the environment to make it an environment. You don't want it too hot, because if it's too hot, they're just like you and me. They're going to sweat. They're going to burn calories.
Yeah.
If it's too cold, they're going to huddle. They're going to not eat. They're going to do things of that nature, and so they're not going to grow. So, you know, and that's how we get paid, is however many pounds of meat we send to the processing plant.
Let me ask you a quick question. Being on the outside looking in.
Yep.
How many broilers do you have per house?
Okay, so again, that's going to be different depending on the company and what size bird. So the bigger the bird you're growing, the less you're going to put in the house, because you need more space when they get bigger. For me personally, we're getting, in the size houses I have, we're getting about 26,000 birds per house.
Wow.
And so on my 10-house farm, I'm getting roughly 260,000 birds at a time. You know, the other company that's in Batesville, they grow a slightly smaller chicken, so if I happen to be growing for them, the number would be higher.
Yeah.
I would get more birds, but you know that I'm getting roughly 260,000 or 26,000 birds to the house. So when you can count the two farms at any one time, I've got close to 500,000 birds.
Man, that's
you know,
amazing.
under management.
That's amazing.
And broilers are, you know, that's what most people see. That's 90% of the housing in a typical complex. The pullets 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, and then breeder hens 6 to 7%, and the broilers are 90%. So when you drive along the road in Arkansas and you see a chicken house, pretty good chance it's a broiler farm.
Okay, I got you. Let me ask you this. The poultry business in Arkansas, I know it's huge, and in the U.S., okay?
Yep.
Touch on that just a minute.
Okay, so yeah, in the United States, it's a huge industry. It's about a $433 billion business nationwide.
Wow.
Providing roughly 488,000 jobs nationwide, 28 billion in wages nationwide, and about 30 billion in tax revenue or government receipts.
Wow. Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mr. Lee DeBerry.
No matter how you buy ag equipment, AgDirect can finance it. We're powered by Farm Credit, people who know agriculture. So along with options to purchase, lease, or refinance, AgDirect offers attractive rates, helpful service, and ag-friendly terms. When you compare the price of iron, Be sure to compare your cost of money. Ask for Ag Direct. Built for agriculture. Powered by Farm Credit.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and affordably priced. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
During these busy and challenging times, Krone wants you to know we've got your back. So we're offering you 90 days of deferred payments on select models of Krone mowers, tedders, rakes, and round balers. That's right, make no payments for 90 days. And you can choose from 0% financing options to get the new Krone equipment you need. Check out these low monthly payment examples on select models of new Krone equipment.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and affordably priced. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
At Case IH, we believe it's our job to provide you with solutions. That's why our Farmall and Maxim tractors, as well as our tools and attachments, are designed with you in mind. From mowing to baling to loading and more, we're here to help turn your to-dos into to-dones. At Case IH, we'll keep your days running smoothly with equipment that's durable, versatile, and highly efficient. No wonder farmers are more loyal to Case IH than any other brand. Visit your local dealer or go to caseih.com/livestock for more.
Since 1921, we've been supporting rice farmers across America. These are the farmers who own our co-op, who prosper together, striving to do more for their communities, going deeper, working smarter, growing stronger. That's how we make good even better. That good comes from the time and toil they're passing down of a way of life that supports not only their families, but families all over the world, so the world can be served with great food. Riceland. United, we grow.
Welcome back to Arkansas Farm Talk. I'm with Mr. Lee DeBerry talking about the poultry business. Lee, we was talking about how big the poultry business is in Arkansas and the U.S. with Tyson Foods, with Pico. Let's hit on that one more time.
You bet. So we talked about nationally. Let's talk about in the state. In the state of Arkansas, a lot of people may not realize this. We're known as an ag state, but the number one ag industry in Arkansas is poultry.
Yeah.
2018, almost $5 billion. I think $4.9 billion in ag receipts due to poultry.
Wow.
And it was about 53% of our total ag receipts. There's about 6,500 poultry farms of some type in the state of Arkansas, and it's providing about 163,000 jobs in the state of Arkansas. So,
well, you know, 1 out of every 6 jobs in the state of Arkansas is directly tied to agriculture.
Absolutely, and the poultry industry is a big part of that, and they're pretty good paying jobs. I want to say the average wage and benefits for jobs in the poultry industry is about $48,000, a little above $48,000. So they're, you know, they're good, solid, well-paying jobs that, you know, provide people a lot of income in the state of Arkansas. It's a big deal.
That's great. If somebody's interested, I mean, how do they get involved in the poultry business?
Okay, so there's 2 primary ways you can get involved in the chicken business. The first is you buy an existing poultry farm. So you own a farm and you're ready to sell for whatever reason. You want to retire, you want to change, whatever the case may be. You know, I can come and buy your farm. Now, I can't just come do that and me and you talk and that's that. You have to talk to your company. So if you grow for, say, Tyson, then I've got to go see Tyson. You know, I need to talk to them about whomever it is, and you go, you know, visit with them, and you know they have to agree to give you a contract. The other way to get into the business is building new, and again, that's something else that, you know, it takes the company, it takes the contract. I can't just go out and buy land and say I'm going to build 10 chicken houses. I've got to have somebody willing to contract them for me. So when you're going to do that, you have to find some way find somewhere that the industry is expanding. You got to find a complex that is looking to add growers, and that's where you can get into building new.
I got you. If you were going to give some advice to somebody wanting to get in the business, where would they start?
Oh man,
I know that's a open-ended question.
That is very open, and brother, we could have spent the whole show on that one question. I think I could, after 26 years in ag finance, I could talk about that one for a while. But there's some key things that anybody that wants to get in the poultry industry needs to do. Number one, do your research, do your homework. Don't just go look at the first chicken farm you see on the internet and go, hey, so-and-so's in the business, so I'm going to get in it, and just go try it. Do your research, do your homework. Number two, it's a business, and you have to treat it as such.
Sure.
You know, it has to be run as a business. You need to budget, because there are times that maybe, depending on how things fall, this time I only may have 2 months' bills after I sell. I may only have 2 months' bills to pay, but next time I have 3.
Yeah. So
you really need to budget. You need to talk with the integrator. You need to understand what you're getting into. And man, I can't stress enough the importance of your banking relationship. When you're getting into the chicken business, whether you're buying or whether you're building, it is extremely important to deal with somebody that not only knows you, but understands the industry. It's a niche industry somewhat, just like, there are banks that are into commercial real estate. There are banks that are big in row crop ag.
Sure.
There are also banks that are big into poultry finance. And, a lot of those people have some very good people that they can really help. And they can help someone trying to get in the business. The last thing I would say on that is, if you're building new, again, deal with somebody reputable. Anytime there's an expansion goes on, there are going to be people that come in from out of town that are not from there, that are going to come in and get in on the fun, so to speak. I think it is extremely important to deal with somebody that you know. There's great people all over the state of Arkansas. I've dealt with them throughout my career, down in Nashville, up in Fayetteville. Love my friends, the trucks that own Batesville Poultry Equipment. People like that, they have been there 20, 30, 40 years in the business. Family's been in it their entire lives. Cheapest, as you know, in the equipment business, cheapest isn't always the best.
That's correct.
So the same's true in the poultry business. You do need to gather bids. You need to, check your cost. But the cheapest isn't always the best. So deal with reputable people, from your bank to your building and equipment people. That's advice I would give people that I think is extremely important.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of customers that are in the poultry business. We deal with a lot of them.
Absolutely.
Deal with you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your friendship and your business.
You
I
bet.
can tell you that.
You bet.
Lee, I want to thank you and your family for everything you do for agriculture here in Arkansas and to promote poultry and chickens in the natural state.
You bet, my friend. Thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed it. More we could have talked about, but I really enjoyed the time, and I thank you for having me.
You bet. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Arkansas Farm Talk.
Thank you for watching Arkansas Farm Talk, brought to you by Heritage Agriculture.